Hi, I'm Catherine Reinhardt.
And I'm Molly from North Eugene High School. I'm here interviewing Catherine about her successful bakery, Sweet Life Pastry. Catherine, tell me, what's your ambition to start a bakery?
I loved baking as a child, and then I went to college and got a degree in French, and never really thought I'd be a baker. But I loved cooking, I loved baking, and after I graduated with a liberal arts degree in French, I decided that I didn't want to be a teacher. So started working in restaurants and thought, oh, this isn't that hard. I want to do this myself. And I had been to France and seen some of the patisseries there, and they're unbelievable. So really that kind of inspired me to have a bakery like that. So.
And with your bakery, what made you decide to start with your sister?
We had been working together ever since I graduated from college. We went to Alaska and worked on a fishing boat together. We came to Eugene together and bought a house, and we worked in different restaurants around town. Usually I was the baker and she was the chef. We kind of worked in similar restaurants. So we had just been doing it together, and we thought, oh, well, let's just open one together since neither of us is doing anything else. And she has really good skills in some area, and I have good skills in others, so it seemed complementary.
A really popular question, or maybe one that's most asked. What's the most difficult decision you've made regarding the bakery?
I thought you were going to ask, how do I stay so skinny? People always ask that. Wow, most difficult was probably to move. We started it in our home, so we had a little 300 square foot garage that we did it out of, and my sister and I did everything. To move into a retail store and have employees and customers that, would come in and have hours. So that was a really big step and kind of terrifying because we never had employees. We didn't really know how to do all of that. But, we sort of just took baby steps when we could and just figured things out along the way. And it worked out really well. So, yeah, I think it was a good decision.
Recently, what's been a struggle?
Recently? Gosh, there really haven't been too many struggles lately, which... knock on wood. It's we've been working really hard to getting systems in place and making sure everything runs smoothly, and I kind of feel like after 20 years it's kind of finally there. There's always little ups and downs. We had to fire a really dear employee the other week because it wasn't fitting into what we needed him to do. So there's always the day-to-day kind of struggles, but overall pretty much on cruise control.
In the future, are you going to expand Sweet Life?
We may do an expansion around our building, but we've decided we would never franchise, or we would never have another location in town or even in Portland. My ultimate goal when I moved to Eugene was to have a farm, and my husband are finally buying some acreage. So, and we started Sweet Life because we knew we needed money to buy farms. So my sister has since had 3 children and left the farm idea aside, but it's really to the point where it actually makes a decent income and it works, and I don't want to make another headache for myself.
Right. So we're going to stay in Eugene. We're not going to any other states
No
like
way.
McDonald's.
Oh my gosh, no. And I don't think it's an easily franchisable business. I think that's why it's so special.
Right.
It's not just something that you can crank out. It really takes skill, and a lot of our employees are really skilled and amazing, and I don't know that other people can do it. I mean, people from all over the world have said, this is crazy, we've never been to a place like this. So,
Right.
Yeah,
I've heard a lot of things, like you've been running the business for 16 years. And
20. We're almost done. 20 years
Almost
next year.
20, yeah.
It's just not a cookie cutter business. You've heard of cookie cutter, where you can just
Right.
sort of cookie cutter stamp it out, make a burger, anybody can make a burger, this is how you do it. Well,
it's
we're just not like
classic.
that.
I've heard a lot of really sweet things about this place, and I was like,
Nice.
yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Is Sweet Life everything you imagined it would be?
It really is. I mean, I had the vision of like a little patisserie like they have in France.
Mm-hmm.
And, they don't franchise their stores in France. It's just that on every corner there's an incredible bake shop. And I wanted to do that. And it sort of has evolved to be sort of Eugene style, where we do vegan things and we do gluten-free. And it's more American style. It's not super European style.
Right.
But really, it is everything. I mean, I love my employees. I actually enjoy working with my sister now after years of kind of figuring it out. And I work, I live 3 blocks away. It's great. I love it.
Right. And we can understand how hard it is working with your sister.
It can be
Having
a
couple
challenge.
myself, I could tell you a couple things.
Yeah. You really have to do some processes to get through that.
Will you ever pass down Sweet Life to, like, say, a younger generation? Maybe someone you don't know?
I don't
maybe
know
like a
about.
child?
Yeah, I mean, my sister has 3 kids,
Right,
so who knows
so-
what they would want to do. But yeah, I would never impose it upon them. You know, if they want to do it, great. Cheryl and I have so much information in our heads. It's mind-boggling to think about, like, giving all that to somebody. But you know what? Most of it's run by the employees. You know, they all have and know what they're supposed to do, which is great. You know, maybe sell it one day if the kids didn't want it. I could definitely see selling it, or you know, giving it to the employees and somehow having them pay us back. You know, I don't know. I don't know if any of the employees would want it. They see how hard we work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, someday it's got to go somewhere.
Right. 'Cause,
I wouldn't want to just close it.
good things don't last forever.
Yeah.
What's your advice to people who want to start a bakery themselves?
Be prepared for lots of hard work. It is day in, day out for a long time. I have bags under my eyes, you know, you get old real fast. But if you have lots of energy and I think having a really broad-based education can be really positive. You know, people always ask me, well, how do you learn to bake? Well, that is like this big of the big puzzle, right? Like, learning how to bake is great and important, but you have to know so many different things. You have to know how to deal with customers, deal with employees.
Right.
You have to know the whole accounting angle of it. And I feel like you should know all the basics of that. Even though we have a bookkeeper, I still know the inner workings of all that. So you really have to be good at lots of different things. Fortunately, my sister's good with numbers. I'm good with more creative things like Adobe Photoshop. So it blends well, but, you know, you have to be sort of a jack of all trades.
All right, and for our final question, what's the working age for Sweet Life?
Well, 16 is, and you can do certain jobs. You can't do others because there's equipment that you're not allowed to do, and also there's rules around how long you can work. I think you can't work over 8 hours, and you can't work past 9 o'clock in the evening, and so there's definitely parameters. But we have hired some young dishwashers, you know, during the summer who come in and wash dishes. It's the hardest job in the bakery, but it's the only job that we can hire if you don't have skills. So if you don't have barista skills for the counter, if you don't have baking, dishes is it, and it's a rough job, but you'll get some strong muscles and a good back.
Well, someone's got to do the dishes.
That's right.
Well, my mom always told me.
Yeah, and they're not horrible dishes, you know. It's like frosting and cake batter.
All right, this is Catherine, and I am Molly, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you.